The U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs is working a partnership with the U.S. Department of Treasury to fight waste in the VA.
The program's goal is to identify areas of VA services susceptible to fraud or waste and abuse. VA officials say they're using what they've learned from a program to help other federal agencies.
A veteran says he had a bad experience working at the Harlingen Veterans Affairs. He applauds the new VA and Treasury Department program.
Channel 5's Frank McCaffrey spoke with the VA in Washington about how waste, fraud, and abuse can be prevented.
It's a shame because
this former VA supervisor for administrative services asked his identity not be revealed. He worked in the Harlingen VA office from 2013 until 2015 after a couple of decades in the Army. The man says he had good intentions when he took the job.
I felt, working with veterans would be the best way, for me to still continue serving my country.
He says he became so disillusioned with the VA after 2 years that he left his job to work in security. He says every day he had frustrations.
Lack of consistency, high turnover rate of employees, asking for information, and it was, they kind of like put it on the back burner, maybe, and then it all of a sudden falls off the radar and you never get your real answer.
The man supports current federal government efforts to identify areas in VA service where fraud risk can occur. He says fraud risks within the VA Harlingen are too hard to address because too few people are on the staff.
They have a lot of work, and good employees, there's excellent employees that still work there and providers. But some of them, they come in and they have a high workload and they see what's going on and nothing is changing, so they leave.
Channel 5 News reached out to the VA headquarters in Washington, D.C. to learn more about how its program, along with the Department of Treasury, will identify waste, fraud, and abuse in the Harlingen VA. A spokesperson for the VA says their agency is working to identify these problems across the nation. They add the VA also has a partnership with the Department of Health and Human Services to share data analytics tools, and best practices for identifying and protecting from waste, fraud, and abuse. In Harlingen, Frank McCaffrey, Channel 5 News at 6.